Welcome back to Streaming Media NYC. We're here with our second interview of the day, but somebody who's been around the industry for a long time, Andy Beach. Andy, what's your title these days?
I am the CTO for Media and Entertainment Worldwide at Microsoft.
At Microsoft, okay. And you had a really interesting keynote this morning with Laura around the gamification of FAST. Could you just in 20 words or less describe to us what gamification means for FAST?
Yeah, so we wanted to take and create a bunch of trivia and interactivity with content that was streaming but not on a streaming platform. Okay. So through some sort of broadcastable moment and create a second screen app that allows you to connect the community around that content and feel like they're engaged and, in this case, competing with each other.
Okay. So I asked Laura, who of course is with Fremantle, about bringing old content, 50-year-old, 40-year-old content into 2024, and she mentioned sort of the up-res piece. How was that accomplished, since you're sort of on the technical side of things?
Yeah, so it was funny, we actually been working with the content for about a month, but we've been doing it on our laptops and smaller screens, and so we thought it looked okay. And the first time that we put it up on like a 65-inch 4K monitor, we were like, oh, this doesn't look good. And it was just jarring between the graphics that we were overlaying and this old content that felt real fuzzy and had some artifacts and other elements. Right. So I reached out to my friends at Cinefilm, and who have, to me, one of the best tech stacks for up-resing and cleaning content. Mm-hmm. And they were able to very quickly reprocess the original source material and give us super crisp quality and something that felt meaningful on a 4K screen.
Interesting. And is it still 4x3? I mean, obviously for phones you do 4x3, but
yeah, it is still 4x3 content. Although interestingly enough, you know, we have announcements that are going on in generative AI right now where we have the ability to do sort of a text to video creation. So I imagine we're very close to someone creating a service that will go fill in the pillar boxes on content automatically. So that old content suddenly doesn't feel old anymore.
Well, I was going to say, those of us who came up both with 4x3 and film, because of my background, you know, thinking about sort of your rule of thirds and how you fill that in, the generative almost would have to stretch the middle of the screen as well to sort of take everything back out to the checker box.
Exactly.
So what does this look like when you say competing with each other? It's a second screen experience?
Yeah, so we have a second screen experience. You go in, you create an account, and you're then, there's a leaderboard, and you're competing to finish missions. And as you finish missions, you rank up through the various levels. And all of the missions can be tied directly to the content itself and how you interact and watch it, but you can tie it to physical events as well, because we have the ability to like scan a QR code to check in or do other elements as part of it. So going to a website could be a mission. Going to a meetup with a group could be a mission. Okay. I mentioned that in the keynote that at NAB I made myself the golden snitch of the game, and if you could track me down, and I knew I had a hectic schedule because I had 65 meetings in 4 days, but if you could track me down and take a selfie with me, I'd give you a challenge coin, and so you would scan a QR code.
So that's a meet space, interesting. So yeah, that physicality piece that you'd add to it.
Right.
So I wonder if, you almost wonder if with the modern versions of the shows, if one of the prizes might be you get to go be a audience member at the show, or vice versa. If you're an audience member at the show, then you get extra points for that.
Well, so the LA Lakers are actually doing exactly this in the new arena that they built. It's the LA Clippers that have done it. So the Clippers have a new arena. Steve Ballmer owns them, so he's a big fan of tech.
Sure.
And so they're using the same PlayFab technology in stadium, in arena, and they have monitors on all of the seats and microphones around, and if you're making a lot of noise and it's obvious that you're really enthusiastic, there's a special part of the arena that you can't buy a ticket for. It's exclusive invite only, and it's based on how loud and how excited you are in the moment. So you can potentially, if you're excited enough at the game, get invited into this exclusive, like, members only area as a piece of the physical experience.
Yeah, well, That's fascinating. I could see that that would sort of then heighten the desire of the fan to actually sort of cheer the team on,
Yeah.
as opposed to booing or something.
But then being able to tie that back to an online experience as well, I think is really cool, because it allows us to have that sort of seamless data-driven experience that allows me to connect what I'm doing in physical space with what I'm watching online.
Okay, interesting. Fascinating ideas, and thank you very much for the keynote you all did this morning.
It was a lot of fun. Thanks.
Yeah. And we will be right back with our next interview.